Amazing, my beautiful viewer. Welcome back to our show. And your host is always Alan Hoy. And today we're giving you updates on what has happened around the country, and what caught the eyes of the people most. And that is, most people are talking about on social media is what happened to Gachagua today. And I will read what Gachagua himself has just written on his social X account. He says that clear instructions had been issued by this cowardly and brutal regime to block me and my entourage from accessing Narok town to campaign for the DCP Democracy candidate for Narok Ward, Honorable Douglas Masikonde. This is a by-election that will be happening there. The people are people united are stronger than all roadblocks, than all bullets, than all stones, than all tear gas you have in store and high seas, and than any dictator in the world. Being a villager, I engaged my fellow villagers in Narok who guided through village path unknown to the police and made a triumphant entry in Narok town and received by thousands of jubilant DCP supporters. How can you beat me in my game? That is what Gachagua says. He's so smart in whatever he's doing. He's so smart in politics. So he's asking, how can he be beaten in his own game? Okay, that's a question that most Kenya will come out and ask it very much. What did he really mean when he says, how can you beat me in my own game? Does it mean that the previous games that were not good enough, was he the player or was he the instructor of those games? That is not for us to ask today, but we'll be back to that to ask that. The villagers triumphed, and we have affirmed that the will of the people is supreme, and the 20th November 2027 by elections will spell this out clearly. No amount of blood, money, police brutality, or police excessive force will cower or intimidate the people of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you to the great people of Narok, especially the young people, for standing firm for us today. The will of the people shall never be subverted at any given moment. Kenya is not your ordinary African country turned into a monarch. Those are the words that Rigathi Gachagua has written on his X account, following whatever happened today. There is in Narok. He says that they were stopped from marching forward, and from some of the footages that have been given, you can see people hurling rocks at different directions and all that. And on his X account, you'll see some of the heavy police over there. And it's happening. Yesterday we had the deputy president Kindiki telling Gachagua that you cannot scare me, and that Gachagua cannot scare him, and he will ashame him. We don't really know what he meant by saying that he will ashame Gachagua, but he knows much better on what he said when he said that he will ashame Gachagua on that. But this is politics, and as he said, politics is a dirty game. It involves very crooked means of trying to justify whatever you need, and it's in politics where they say the end will justify the mean. What we want to justify the means that we will use to get there. It doesn't matter whatever means will be used, as long as we are where we want to be, and that is what people are following up. So I'll just read some of the comments that people have put on that. Gachagua is both campaigning and settling scores, and by one viral sub-bite at a time. Buckle up, it's gonna be a long popcorn-worthy howl. What you bet? Who cracks first, Kasongo or Gachagua? The fact that the ordinary villagers opened the hidden footpath guided us through their homes and their farms and walked with us into town is a proof that power ultimately resides with the people, not with those who misuse the instrument of the state. And then, of course, you showed up wearing a helmet because when a regime starts panicking like that, you protect the manifesto and the head delivering it. Oh, that's a hard one. No come back to that, eh? Just no come back to that. So these by-elections are happening in different parts of the country. You've seen a lot of back and forth back in Western, and every political party is trying to defend their candidate or campaign for their candidates to gather these votes in all these different places. And it's only the people who can decide. But at that level, it's people who will decide on who becomes who or who leads them. But when it comes to the national elections, we are yet to see that. But the main campaigns will be starting. That is in next year, 2026, and be able to see who is who and who says what and all that. But even with all these things happening, with those small positions that their by-elections are going on, those are the small positions that will prove that which party will carry the day, that is in 2027 or 2026, 2027 general elections. That, like, these parties will determine, is Gachagua strong enough to compete against the ruling president William Samoei Ruto, or is he weak enough? And him getting all these positions, or some of the positions in different parts of this country, will determine whether he's good enough to go forth or not. And it's people; they are all relying on people. They are all owing people to come in and support their ideologies. But most people will tell you that the main campaign strategy of Gachagua is to try to disapprove Ruto, President Ruto, and make him look like he's not worthy it and all that. But will he win in that game? Remember, he said, "Do you think you can beat him in his own game? Is he smart enough to make it work for him?" I don't know what you guys are talking about wherever you are, but we'd like to hear your opinions on this. Until next time we meet, same place, same time, has been your host, Alan Hoy.